Sam Bennett had always measured sunrise by the rumble of his garbage truck, not the color of the sky. At 5:12 a.m., the chill of early winter crept through his gloves as he wrestled an oversized dumpster bin toward the hydraulic lift behind a strip mall on the edge of Portland, Maine. The neon sign above the alley buzzed and flickered, spelling Mart instead of Smart Mart. Sam barely noticed. 10 years on the job had trained him to keep his head down, eyes alert for broken glass and sleeping alley cats, nothing more. Today broke the pattern. Just as the lift groaned to life, a frantic, high-pitched wail cut through the hiss of hydraulics. Sam's heart stalled. The sound was unmistakable, an infant's cry, raw and desperate, echoing inside the metal cavern of the dumpster. He hit the emergency stop. The lift jolted, half-raised. Without thinking, Sam climbed the side ladder, peered over the rusted rim, and froze. A torn cardboard box trembled in the shadows. Inside lay a tiny baby wrapped in a thin thrift store t-shirt, eyes squeezed shut, cheeks blotched crimson by the cold. Sam's first instinct was disbelief. How could anyone? The thought refused to finish. He slipped inside the dumpster, ignoring the rancid smell of day-old produce and coffee grounds. Gently, he lifted the baby to his chest. The infant quieted, sensing warmth. That was the first miracle of the morning. Sam's phone had no signal in the narrow alley. The nearest fire station was 2 blocks away, but walking in freezing wind with an unclothed infant, even 2 blocks, felt like a gamble. His truck, however, had a heater. Sam wrapped the baby in his knit beanie, cradled the fragile bundle, and climbed down. Inside the cab, he cranked the heat, dialed 911, and waited with one arm around the child, humming off-key lullabies his mother once sang to him in Nova Scotia. Dispatch told him to stay put, help was on the way. As the baby's shivering eased, Sam noticed something lodged between the folds of the t-shirt, a crumpled handwritten note, blotched with tears or rain. His name is Noah. I can't give him what he deserves. Please make sure he is safe. M. Sam read it twice, disbelief morphing into a fierce resolve he never knew he possessed. When the paramedics arrived, the baby's vitals were weak but stable. Police cars soon followed, swirling red-blue lights bouncing off the wet pavement. Officer Lisa Herrera took Sam's statement, her voice steady yet eyes glassy. Mr. Bennett, you may have saved this child's life, she said. Sam shrugged, suddenly self-conscious of his stained coveralls. Anyone would have done the same. Not everyone, Herrera replied. Would you be willing to ride to the hospital? They may need more details. Sam nodded, unaware that his life had just taken a detour. At Maine Medical Center, neonatal specialists whisked Noah away. While waiting, Sam sat with a cup of hospital coffee, the kind that tastes burnt no matter how much sugar you add. He wondered where Noah's mother was right now. Had she been homeless? Trapped in an abusive relationship? Too ashamed to face a faceless system? The possibilities tore at him. A social worker named Greg Wallace soon approached. Mr. Bennett, the doctors say your prompt action kept Noah from hypothermia. They also found early signs of malnutrition. He'll stay here for observation, but they expect a full recovery. Relief washed over Sam, yet it carried a question, what now? Greg continued, because you discovered him, you have the right to be notified about his welfare hearings. It's called founders' rights under Maine law. The term sounded archaic, like something from a fairy tale. But Sam surprised himself by answering, yes. I'd like that. 2 days later, Sam returned to his usual route. Word had spread quicker than a New England nor'easter. A local news crew cornered him outside the truck. The reporter's microphone looked like a silver dagger poised to stab the air. Mr. Bennett, you're being hailed a hero. How does that feel? Sam shifted his weight. I just found a baby. The real story is what happens to him next. That sound bite went viral. Within hours, footage of Sam, grizzled beard, gentle eyes, circulated across social media feeds from Toronto to Texas. #TrashTruckHero trended on X, formerly Twitter. National morning shows requested interviews. Donations poured into a newly launched Noah's New Start fund. Yet Sam remained wary of spotlight. In his mind, fame felt like wearing someone else's boots, sure to blister eventually. During Noah's child welfare hearing, the courtroom overflowed, journalists, curious locals, and foster families hoping to adopt. Sam sat in the back row, hands folded, telling himself he was merely an observer. When the judge reviewed the abandonment note, she sighed. "We still haven't located the mother. Despite early leads, the investigation remains open." Then she addressed Sam directly. "Mr. Bennett, given your sustained interest, are you prepared to serve as a foster guardian until a permanent placement is secured?" In that moment, Sam's world narrowed to a single heartbeat. He was 41, single, living in a modest attic apartment, surviving on a city salary. The practical answer was no. But another voice, softer, steadier, whispered yes. "I'll do my best, Your Honor," he said, surprising everyone, not least himself. Fostering an infant while working pre-dawn sanitation shifts required logistical gymnastics. Sam bought a second-hand stroller, turned his bedroom into a nursery, and learned to warm formula without scorching fingers. His supervisor rearranged routes so he could finish early and dash to daycare. The first time Noah smiled, really smiled, Sam felt the weight of every sleepless night evaporate. Parenthood, he realized, wasn't biology. It was 1,000 small decisions to love even when exhausted. Community support mushroomed. The same reporter who chased him down now organized a drive, diapers, baby clothes, volunteers. A retired nurse offered free babysitting. Someone left a quilt on his porch embroidered with garbage truck patterns and the words, "Our Little Miracle." Yet the biggest twist arrived 6 months later, packaged as a registered letter from a law firm in Toronto. Inside the envelope was a statement from Marissa Collins, Noah's birth mother. Diagnosed with postpartum depression, she had fled an abusive partner and crossed state lines, living out of her car. When food ran out, desperation eclipsed reason. She left Noah in the dumpster, believing someone, anyone, would find him. Marissa had surrendered to police in Toronto after seeing Sam's interview online. Her attorney described her profound remorse and her commitment to treatment. Court hearings followed, pitting legal guidelines against human complexity. Sam could have viewed Marissa as the villain of his life's newest chapter. But he remembered the tear-stained note, the shaky handwriting. He saw a frightened woman caught between impossible choices. At the decisive hearing, Sam surprised the courtroom again. "Your Honor," he said, "I believe Noah deserves to know his mother, if it's safe. I'm willing to remain a guardian while she receives counseling and proves she can provide a stable home. We owe the kid that chance." Gasps rippled through the room, but the judge smiled. "Mr. Bennett, your compassion is exemplary." One crisp October afternoon, exactly a year after Noah's rescue, Sam and Marissa met in a supervised visitation room. Marissa's hands trembled as she reached for her son. Noah, now toddling, studied her face, then offered a gummy smile. Marissa broke into tears, mouthing "thank you" to Sam. It was not forgiveness wrapped in a bow, but the raw beginning of healing. That night, national news outlets replayed the footage, a garbage collector extending grace to the mother who abandoned her child. Viewers across North America called it everything from saintly to unbelievable. Sam called it human. 2 years later, Marissa completed a rehabilitation program, secured steady employment, and moved into subsidized housing. The court granted joint guardianship, allowing Noah to spend weekdays with Marissa and weekends with Sam. They co-parented, exchanging photos of first bike rides and kindergarten drawings. The public fascination faded, hashtags replaced by newer stories, but the ripple never stopped. Donations from Noah's fund expanded to create the Bennett Collins Grant, providing emergency assistance for parents facing postpartum crises. Hotlines staffed mental health professionals 24/7. Cities from Boston to Vancouver upgraded safe surrender policies, installing monitored bassinets at hospitals and fire stations. Sam still drove his garbage route every dawn, but Sunrise looked different now. Sometimes Noah, strapped in a car seat beside him on a Saturday shift, would point at the dumpsters and announce, "That's where Daddy found me." Sam would correct him gently, "That's where we started." The day Noah graduated kindergarten, Sam and Marissa sat side by side in miniature folding chairs. When the teacher handed Noah a certificate titled Brightest Smile, he scampered down the steps, grabbed Sam's hand with his left, Marissa's with his right, and raised them together like champions. In that instant, the world's judgment, the viral headlines, the nightmarish alley, they all fused into a single truth. Sometimes the most ordinary people, doing the most routine jobs, carry within them the power to rewrite fate. And as the auditorium erupted in applause, Sam realized the real shock wasn't that a garbage collector saved a baby, it was that kindness, simple, stubborn kindness, could turn society's discarded moments into something unbreakably beautiful.